Hey everyone, Happy New Year. Hope you had a nice holiday. Today, I want to take you for a really quick tour around my fish room. A lot has changed since the last video. I'm working on a bunch of new breeding projects. I've got some big plans for 2025. I want to talk about all that in this video. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So this fish room is in my basement. If you haven't seen it yet, it's about 300 square feet. Currently has 61 tanks in it. That number is going to keep going up. So currently I have 2 75 gallons, 12 40 gallons, 23 20 talls, 2 20 longs, and 21 10 gallons. They're all in this room right now. Most of them are drilled and they're on an automatic water change system. We'll get right into it. So I'll give you a quick 360 of the room and then we'll switch to my other camera so we can get nice and close to all the tanks. So this is where you walk in. My kids' playroom is on the other side of this. One of the reasons I've been so busy lately is we were working on this playroom and it's turning out awesome. I'm super happy with it. Kids love it too. So if you came in and you just looked around, this is what you'd see. I'm going to take you for a quick walk around and then we'll get closer to all the tanks. So 20 long, 20 long. That's my copycat Master Breeder Dean's fry system. My Hillstream Loach tank. Got my brine shrimp. Of course I got a TV up here. A fridge for my pop and my fish foods. Got a utility sink, nothing special about that. There is actually an osmosis unit and a booster pump hidden behind this fridge. There's also some drainage that goes straight out this wall into my backyard. Got a nice window that is points towards the woods. In this corner we've got the heater. This heater is natural gas heater. I ran a gas line down this wall, cut a hole in this wall, and it's a direct vent. So all of the products of combustion get vented right out this wall. And it's a natural gas, so it'll work even when I lose power. There's no fan on it or anything, so I keep it so around 78 degrees in here. The heat rises up, hits this fan, and it's my thought that the fan kind of blows it around this room. It actually stays pretty consistent, so it is working pretty well. It was very cheap actually, a little scary to do. I've never cut a hole in my wall before, but everything turned out okay. In this corner we've got the 100-gallon stock pond that I got at Farm and Fleet. My most recent video was on this. They got some fern that's not doing too well, just a bunch of plants back there. And then moving right along, you'll get the first column of 40 gallons. There's 3 high in here. That third 40 gallons pretty tall, but you can see I had a little extra room up this way, so I chose to go for it. 2 didn't seem like enough. This whole section right here is about 21 10 gallons. I like the 10 gallons because they're easy to work with. You can do a lot with a 10 gallon and I can fit a lot of tanks in this small space, which gives me a lot of options for breeding projects. Right after that, we've got 9 more 40 gallons. Again, they're 3 high, 3 columns of 3. So if we stand back, you'll see that there's actually 9 40 gallons here. And I made a goal to myself that I wanted to get this whole wall done before the new year. New Year's Eve, about an hour before the new year, I got all these tanks installed. These are filled with substrate and water. There's no filter or fish in these, but they're technically installed, so it's a win. I'll take you through the rest of these 40 gallons. This will definitely be my favorite part of the fish room. I really enjoy this spot. I'll actually sit on this stool right here and I just stare at these tanks because they're all going to be planted and filled with rainbow fish, which is my passion. So this whole wall is done. Last time you saw this room, I was missing a 10 gallon down here because I broke one, and these 2 weren't installed, and I don't think these 2 were installed either. But this whole wall is done. So that was my goal for 2024. My first goal for 2025 is to finish this wall right here. This is a 3-level metal shelf that I got, I think, from Costco. It was a present, so I don't know how much it cost or where it came from. I think it was Costco. And it holds 5 20 talls each row, so I should get 15 20s on this back wall here. It fit just perfect. I'm not kidding. Look how much wiggle room I had between the between the the stands, and then it barely fit. I've got a 225 gallon water reservoir that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. Used to hold automotive soap, and now I pump RO water and remineralize it. I'll go over that real quick with you. So RO water is not good to give your fish. You can't just give them straight RO. So what I do is I make a brine of minerals. This is Seachem Equilibrium, 5,000 TDS in a 5 gallon jug. And what I do is I have a peristaltic pump, I think is how you say it. This turns on every day for about 5 minutes, and I have it dosed so that the correct amount of minerals goes into this tank, and this tank is remineralized. It's got about a KH of 3 and a GH of 3 and a TDS right around 120, give or take. Most fish that I keep seem to really like that water. All the plants that I keep seem to really like that water. So it gives me a lot of flexibility because I can use RO water for my softer water species, which is in between these two racks. So you can see, we'll talk about this rack next. That's another 15, 20 gallons. In between these two racks in this corner is kind of a dead spot. So here I have RO water. I've got a pump hooked up. Well, there's always a pump in there. And then I've got, this is straight RO. So if I'm breeding tetras or something that needs softer water, I can do that. And I can play with my water, which is really nice to have that flexibility because my water is liquid concrete. And I was having trouble keeping a lot of fish alive in it, to be honest with you. So none of this would be possible without my RO unit. I go through a lot of water, but I've got a plan for next year on how I'm going to reuse that water. And I'll talk about that when we go outside. 15 more 20 talls. This top section barely fits. It's super tall. Kind of regret it sometimes because it's hard to work in these tanks, but I've decided they're just going to be breeder tanks. So I put breeder fish in here. They do their thing. I pull the mop out. I take the fish and put them in another tank. That's probably the best way to use these tanks. Any other way is maddening. So I have fry growing up in this one. Yeah, it's not going to be fun to catch all those out, but it'll be all right. I wanted to get as many tanks in here as I possibly could because the way I look at it, if I'm paying to heat a space and I'm heating a 300 square foot room in my basement, I want to get the most bang for my buck. I want to get the most fish in here. And yeah, you guys, I don't have to explain it to you guys. You guys probably want as many fish tanks as you can fit in your house too. And then after these 15, 20 talls, we've got two 75s. Got an overflow box on it. This one does not yet. I'm working on that. They're expensive, so I just haven't bought it. This section here will eventually have more 10-gallon tanks. I haven't done the measuring yet, but it's going to look something like this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get 9 or 12 or maybe more. I haven't measured it yet. Right now I'm just storing some buckets, some hoses, and a couple plants I'm trying not to kill. My mother-in-law asked if I could try to keep them alive down here. This is a lemon tree, and I think this is hibiscus, someone said. This one's doing pretty well. This one always gets shocked. I did this last year. It'll bounce back. It actually had lemons on it when I brought it down here. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this yet, but I have a couch in here now, a little recliner, which is really, really cozy. I've almost fallen asleep in this a couple times because it's like, remember, it's tropical temperatures in here. It's like almost 80 degrees. Very relaxing. So I love coming down here, sitting on that. Or if I want to watch a movie, or if Sydney wants to watch a movie with me, we'll chill out in here, which is, you wouldn't think hanging out in a fish room is comfortable, but in the middle of winter when it's like 10 degrees out, makes it kind of tricks your brain into thinking it's summertime. So that's really nice. I also picked up a tool chest from Home Depot. This is one of their Husky tool chests, and this thing is awesome. So I got it for 25% off because there's a big dent on the side here. You're never going to see it because my vacuum's there anyway, but been wanting something like this for this room because I didn't build this room with storage in mind, because each wall has to be filled with tanks because there is a drainage system, which, see this pipe right here? This drain goes all the way around the room, the perimeter of the room, and it dumps out underneath this sink. So I really didn't want anything on the walls besides tanks because they need to drain into that drain during the automatic water change. So I was left with a bunch of crud that was stuck up here, and that's going to have tanks on it eventually. So what I decided to do was buy one of these tool chests, and it's really nice because it's on heavy duty casters. So if I need to move tanks in and out of here, this is easy to move. It holds something like 3,000 pounds, which I'll never need, but it's nice. It's made out of metal, so I can stick stuff to it. It doubles as a countertop. It's a really nice wooden countertop. So when I'm doing DIY how-to videos, breeding videos, this is a really nice backdrop for working with. So like, I hung a light above it too, little LED spotlight. So you see we got a lot of light here now. You can really see what we're doing. I love that picture of me and Boone. That was in Wisconsin. That's one of my favorite lakes to fish. North central Wisconsin. That's Fireside Lake. So this is awesome. It gives me tons of storage for breeding stuff. You know, all my meds are in here. PVC pieces for the fish room build. I can keep all my PVC in here. It's all soft close, which is really nice. You know, all my like supplements and lights and airlines and plant stuff. So it's really nice. I really like having this. Coffee. I did get a coffee maker over Black Friday. It was $50. How could you not? I'm telling you, if you like coffee and you spend a lot of time in your fish room, buy a coffee maker, put it in your fish room. Game changer. Some very handsome gentlemen sent me some free stuff. I think you probably know who they are. Nick and Corey. They also sent me some food that I've been testing for a few weeks now. And I'm not just saying this because I like these guys. All the foods they sent me are amazing. I'll definitely update you guys in a future video on how that's going. But Nick sent me some bug buffet and some green cuisine. My fish love both of them. And Corey sent me some magic fry food. Let me make sure I get this right. And some easy community floating pellets. Fish have been going bonkers for this stuff. Yeah, the magic nano feed. This stuff is awesome. I love this stuff. Can't wait to talk about this. This bag is almost gone. This is a huge bag. It's almost gone because my fish are just down in it. Anyway, so yeah, if you're thinking about it, put a coffee machine in your fish room. I don't know what this is. Sydney must have put this up here. Oh, one more thing I did to this room before we start getting into all these tanks. This is my old pump I got from Gemco. It's an LPH 60. I was actually getting 71 outlets out of it, so it definitely is worth the money. I recently upgraded to the LPH 120. So this should outlast this fish room, hopefully. We've talked about moving in the future. You know, that's not for another 5-10 years at least, unless something came up that was like too good to pass up. But if I end up moving and we get more property, I'm probably going to build like a pole barn for the fish. And then if that's the case, I'll probably need something bigger than that. But that's way down the road. We'll see if that ever even happens. So let me take my other phone out. We'll just look at all the tanks real quick. I won't try to bore you too much. So the fry system's actually pretty empty right now. We've got some Julie eggs in here, well, false Julie eggs in here that are just starting to hatch out. Still picking furcata eggs every day. These two are empty. We've got a decent amount of, let me grab my flashlight. By the way, guys, this Milwaukee flashlight, I'm not trying to sell you anything, like I'm not sponsored. This thing is sick. For a fish light, it's gonna run you about 80 bucks, but it is really nice. It's rechargeable, magnetic, flexible head. Even if you're just someone that likes to work on stuff around the house, this thing's sweet. Anyway, enough of that commercial. I have a bunch of Venezuelan Corys in here. Forgot to clean this glass. I don't know how many Corys I have in here. Quite a bit, probably. Still very small. And I guess while we're talking about these, maybe I'll jump around to make this video make more sense. These guys are slightly bigger. Really in love with these guys. How could you not love these guys? So these will be up for sale very shortly. I've already promised 2 groups to 2 guys, so there's not going to be a whole lot for sale. Basically, if you reach out and tell me you're interested in a fish and you really want them, I usually hold them for you. We'll get back to this tank, but that's what they're going to look like. I'll have plenty more, so if you don't get any this batch, there'll be more. I originally got these from Dan's Fish. There's a breeder out there that breeds these, and I'm just always really impressed with the color. The orange is really nice on these guys. They also get a ton of brine shrimp. I know that helps, but just a good looking fish. Super cute and pretty easy to breed so far. So they're very happy in that tank. My Hillstream loaches have finally bred. Thank you everyone for all the tips and tricks. There's been a few of you that have reached out and given me pointers. There's a baby right there. One big mistake I think I made though, I got frustrated because I wasn't seeing fry in this tank. So I took a Rainbowfish mop and chucked it in there because I said to myself, like, well, I might as well make use of this tank and raise some fry in here. I wonder if these rainbows are picking off newly born Hillstream loaches. I'm going to guess probably. So once I scoop these out, I probably won't put any more rainbows in here. I'll leave it just be a true Hillstream loach tank. I do plan on putting more rocks in here as well. Yeah, they're really cool. They've got a really cool pattern. It's funny, they're not like really flat when they're little. They look like a different fish to me. Yeah, there's been a few people helping me out in this journey, so thank you guys. You know who you are. I appreciate all the comments and emails. I just did the video on this pond a couple weeks ago. Nothing really to report on this. I'm loving it. I know it's overgrown, but I don't really care. I kind of like it overgrown. The way I look at it, the less plastic you can see, the better. If this is just a mound of plants, I'm happy with it. I don't really ever have to get in here. So, and I don't think the fish mind having a little extra shade. You got some gouramis up here. The opalines are really blue, very easy to breed. Can get a little aggressive during breeding time though, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this is a cool tank. I like looking up at the floating plants. Got a ton of pothos growing off the top of it. I don't know if I can even reach. You see that pothos? And it's kind of navigated over this fern and it's just kind of doing its own thing. So that's kind of cool. There's like a rogue Pleco in there too. I don't know where he's at. There he is. Next tank, a Rosario LaCourte tank. And I had all my breeders in here. And I took all the breeders out. And I left the mop in because I was too lazy to grab it. And this happened. So I know some people say you have to hatch rainbows in like a 10-gallon, a 5-gallon. This is a 40-gallon, and I don't know what the hatch rate was, but obviously I have quite a bit in here. They're about a month old now, maybe a little older than that, a couple months old. So you can hatch rainbows in a bigger tank. It's not ideal. I probably would still recommend a small tank. But I was going to move a bunch of Bosemani into here, and now I can't because these guys are too small and I want them getting snacked on. So I had multiple 10 gallons growing out Bosemani, and I just decided to put them up here. This is my newest tank. I've just filled this up today, and it's a cool like little tree I bought at Aquashella last year. So I'm thinking about putting some Anubias on that, making it look like a tree, put some rocks around the base. So I got a bunch of Bosemani in here. Still pretty small, but they have great color already. For how small they are, they got great color. And I apologize if I'm repeating myself. I know a lot of my videos are similar, so if you've seen those guys already, I probably say that every single video. But they're just spectacular. Very slow growing, so I'm hoping in the 40 gallon they'll pick up their pace a little bit. The next tank has my favorite rainbow, the Melitania Cali-Moisey. And I've also got my breeding group of L181 peppermint plecos in here. These guys are all turned off for the day, but I might be able to put the light on them and see if you can see some of their colors. Yeah, look at these guys. What I like most about these is there's like so many colors. They have so many colors. You see purple, green, yellow, orange, black. Like, yeah, I mean, just look at these guys. They're insane. And I should say, I'm selling some of these adults. So check the website. I've got some of these adults listed because there's too many fish in this tank. Sadly, I've got to let them go. I've also got some raccoon tetras in here that have been breeding and actually producing in this tank. And there's also a daddy pleco sitting on some wigglers. We'll see if I can zoom in on him. Well, I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see their yolk sacs. Bunch of little dudes and dudettes just wiggling. This dude has done another nice job. I'm not sure if this is the same male that's given me like 8 batches this year, but I have plenty of these for sale. I'll restock them on the website. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull that cave soon. That's always fun. I always look forward to pulling the cave and counting how many plecos we get. I guess we'll just stay down here since I'm down here. I just moved these Pygmy Corys into this 10 gallon. I have a group of 10. I do plan on breeding them. I don't know if these guys are mature enough to breed yet. I'm going to guess not. I've only had them for a month or two, and I know they usually get sold pretty young. But I've put them in an environment where if they wanted to breed, they could. There's no predators in here. They should feel pretty safe. I'm going to be adding more plants. Probably be adding a spawning mop, and maybe I'll broadleaf plant too. I'm not even really breeding them for profit. I just want a bunch of them because I think they're super cute. My wife and I are just big Cory fans. And I believe these are some of the smallest Corys you can find anywhere. They seem pretty happy in here so far. I just moved them over a couple hours ago. I gave them a cold water change just for the heck of it. Threw a couple Indian almond leaves in there, some plants. Hit them with a little bit of RO, cold RO that was sitting outside. So, next tank is a raccoon tetra breeding tank. I'm working on breeding these guys. They have bred for me in the past multiple times, but it's always when I'm not doing anything. And then fry just end up surviving in the tank. Now I'm trying to actually collect eggs and breed them to like raise batches of them. I'm not sure if they've given me any eggs yet. I'm just kind of like keeping my eye on the females and looking at their bellies. Their bellies still look pretty big, so I don't think they've dropped their eggs yet. There's some really plump females in there. Look at that one. She's carrying a lot of eggs. So I check this trap like once a day. Negatory, no eggs in here, so whoops. Oh jeez. Oh my god. Oh, whoops. I can't do anything when I'm holding the camera because I don't know whether to look at my own hand or to look at the camera. Oh my god. Jeez, this is... I'm trying to give you a good B-roll to look at, and I'm just making a mess. I'm sorry. So, put that back in there. Maybe tomorrow. Love these floors, by the way. These are that gym floor that's made out of like recycled tire, I think. I learned this from Corey. His fish room's got the same floor, and even if it gets wet, it's not slippery, and it just feels good on your feet. I walk around barefoot in here, and it's kind of nice. It's really like this flooring, and it wasn't horrible in price either, and easy to install yourself. This next tank only has 2 ricefish in it. The name of these right now is escaping me. I just really like the way they look. I want to start breeding them. Next tank, we've got a group of fry growing out. These are the Melitania myrici. So like any rainbow fish fry, they look pretty much the same. They're just a bunch of translucent minnows. We go straight up. We've got a group of CPDs growing out. I can't breed enough of these guys, honestly. It's probably our most popular fish. Well, lately all they've been getting is brine shrimp twice a day. They get bug buffet, and then they get that magic nano feed from Cory. And they love all that stuff. You can see their colors starting to come in already. I always have these on the website. Like I said, I struggle to keep these in stock because they're so popular. I think a lot of people have nano tanks, and if all I had was 1 or 2 nano tanks, this would be the fish I'd pick too, because they just look like little trout. So same thing, another group of CPDs over here. This group is slightly smaller. You see there's different sizes in here. As long as they're not too different, they get along just fine. Most of these tanks are going to be bare bottom. This allows me to keep the tank clean. It makes vacuuming up the detritus and the waste just very easy. Next tank is my Venezuelan corridoras. These are the breeding group. There's 6 of them in here. These are the original I got from Dan's Fish. Just been hitting them with cold water changes, giving them lots of bloodworms, brine shrimp. They really like this food. Ebo Foods, I know I've talked about it before. They love this stuff. They love it. And it's just really high quality food. The next one are the Triliniatis, the false Julies. Jordan and I oversold these. We had definitely like over 100 and sold pretty much all of them. So this group is actually pretty young. I think I only have like 1 mature female that's producing eggs right now. So progress to get these back to the amount we had has been really slow. But there's nothing cooler than like a bigger tank full of Corys. You got a big group of these swimming around. It's really fun. I really love the pattern on these guys. Not a true Julie, they're the false Julie. But if you buy a Julie from a pet store, it's probably going to be those. Next, we have some ricefish. These are the Gecko, Medaka ricefish that came from a Japanese breeder. They were gifted to me from my friend in Hawaii, and I love them. I've been breeding these quite a bit. Definitely looking forward to seeing them out in the pond again next year. Or this summer, I guess. Next tank is my Pseudomagil fricata. These are a blue eye species. I have, I think, 3 males, 2 females. Beautiful nano fish. They're definitely getting older. They're full size, I would assume. They give me about, between the 2 females, I get about, I don't know, 10 to 20 eggs a day. Maybe less, maybe more. Usually not more. Not a ton of eggs. They're really good at eating their eggs, so you got to pick the eggs every day. The next group of fry are parva, Melitania parva. These are the Gary Lane strain that I have. And what's really weird is there's some raccoon tetras in here, and I don't know how they got in here. I wonder if he's going to focus. So there's at least 2 raccoon tetras in here. See that? I don't know if they came in on a plant and they just grew up in here. But yeah, these guys, they're breeding. I just don't know how to really get them to breed on demand. They just kind of breed when they feel like it, and they just kind of pop up in tanks. It's kind of funny. This next tank is my Emerald Rasbora tank. These guys are pretty shy, but they're really beautiful. If you gave them a tank with lots of plants and lots of hiding spots, I think they'd be very happy. And for some reason, I have not been getting eggs from them lately. I don't know why. I don't know if they just don't feel comfortable in here or what. They're getting brine shrimp twice a day, a water change every day. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I really like their pattern. They seem happy. Got some blue shrimp in here as well. A viewer, I have to look up his name now because I can't remember off the top of my head, made these 3D printed boxes and sent them to me for free, which was really nice. They hook right up to a fluval breeder box. Here's another one. Let me turn the light on. They're really, really slick. 3D printed, nice black color. This lifts up. You can see where the eggs go down. This spout up here is adjustable. This is made to fit right into the fluval breeder box. And so far I've been loving them. I just wish I was getting eggs. I'm not getting any eggs out of these guys, so not sure what I'm doing wrong with them. But thank you so much for those. I really love them. I can't wait to keep trying them out in the future. So you've already seen the Corydoras in here, the Venezuelans. I also have two red neon blue eye. I think they're the Luminatas, if I'm saying that right. This is the only female I have left, and she's got a wonky eye. So I don't know if that impacts her ability to breed. And then here's the male. Beautiful fish. I was getting a decent amount of eggs from them. Their eggs are really small. And with any fish, when you first get the fish in, especially if it's imported or something like that, your mission should be to breed them immediately, because you never know how long they're going to last. You don't know how old they're going to be. You don't know if they're going to like your water. But if you raise a batch of their fry in your tank, they usually do a lot better. So that's my mission with these guys. I have a few fry growing up, not many, but hopefully enough to establish a small breeding group to get these guys going, because I really love the way they look. And I'm definitely starting to get into more pseudomagills. It's like a cousin to rainbowfish, not like a true rainbowfish. Very short lifespan. I think they only live about 2 years. 18 months to 2 years is what I'm told. I could be completely wrong on that. But basically, it's a fish that you have to constantly be breeding or you'll lose them. Which is not a problem, because I love breeding fish. You can see even at this small size, look at how blue their eyes are. Pretty cool. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to focus on them. They're so small. But breeding those. Got some white cloud mountain minnows in this tank here. They're not turquoise. I didn't really anticipate selling as many as I have lately. So these are all the ones I could catch out of the pond. I don't even know if there's a male in here, to be honest with you. So hopefully there's at least one male in here and they start laying eggs. This is how I bred them last time. This is just like a mesh that I put on top of some egg crate. And I remove all the adults once I can see fry sticking to the glass. So far I haven't really seen them sticking to the glass yet. And all the white clouds are being shy. I don't know why they're being shy. Yeah, I just give them some like media to spawn in. And then you just kind of wait until you see some fry sticking to the glass. Once you see that, you can remove everyone and they'll just raise up in here. So Jordan took the L and I out of here. We got some more frittata in here, some babies. There we go. These guys really are beautiful. I think they'd be really nice in a planted nano tank. I feel like you'd probably want to have a lid on it, because they look like a fish that would probably jump. I don't know out of experience. I've always kept them in a tank with a lid. But I love the contrast between the blue eye and the yellow finnage. I just think it's beautiful. The next tank I have is some pea puffers. I got these just as pets. I just really like these guys. I think they're really cute. I've always wanted to keep them. Yep, he's gone. I've got 6 of them in a 10-gallon. Yes, I know that's way too many. They got plenty of hiding spots. They get baby brine shrimp every day. Pretty much any snail I'm removing from any tank goes in here, so it's just like a snail graveyard. I think I'm probably going to be giving away / selling 3 of them and just holding on to 3 and putting them in a planted nano tank, because I think they live for quite a while, so it's a long-term commitment when you get these guys. But where I bought them from, you had to buy 6, so I knew I didn't want 6, but you just never know how fish are going to do. So all 6 have been really healthy. Kind of just giving them like little stuff to play around in, because they are curious fish. This is like some glass planter, and I accidentally left some air in the top of this, and there's a floating plant growing underwater in this little contraption, which is kind of funny. I got like an elephant planter in there, some Anubias. So they're always poking around in here. They're really entertaining to watch. Super cute. Next is some emerald rasbora juveniles that I'll be having on the website. They're definitely sellable now. Again, a very shy fish, but underrated in my opinion. They're beautiful and they're just a charming nano fish. This next tank is just a hodgepodge. Mostly the Medaka ricefish again, the gecko. Also have two Trilineatus Corys in here. These guys raised up in this tank. I had the Trilineatus in here breeding a few months ago, and they must have left behind a few eggs, and these guys actually hatched and grew up in here. I didn't even know they were in here for a long time. So they're pretty chunky now. I'm going to move them eventually. Yeah, and then just a bunch of ricefish, and I think there's some shrimp in here too. This is my breeding group of CPDs. You guys have seen these guys before. They're beautiful. I love them. They're really fat. All they get is baby brine shrimp and bug buffet and the nano feed lately. They produce eggs pretty much every day. Now we're going to move on to the 40 gallons. I'll try to get them from back here because if I get too close, they're going to freak out. These are the Melitania myrici. Pretty similar to the Kalitawa. You got bright red finnage, and they've got a super red breeding stripe that like almost looks hot pink when they flash. I really like. It's a cool bonus to cleaning a tank. When you clean a tank, you kind of look from the top down, and when you see those breeding stripes when you're cleaning a tank, it's kind of cool. I also have the Venezuelan corridors in here. I threw about, I think, 22 of them in here. And I won't be selling these guys. These are just for me. I like having big groups of Corys. It makes me happy. And I'm not going to make the same mistake again that I did with the Trilineatus where I oversold them. It's easy to do when you're selling them all out of the same tank. So if I don't sell any of these, I can't oversell them. So these guys are just my pets. This tank's pretty bare. I'll definitely get more plants in the future. It's not a priority right now. Yeah, these guys are cool. These guys get pretty chunky. I think they probably get bigger than the Kalitawa. Next tank, right above it, is another planted 40 gallon. And these are the Melitania trifasciata Blythe River collection point. They're very red, and they've got a nice dark purple breeding stripe on the top. You guys have seen these before. I do have some juveniles available for sale right now. I also got some beautiful blueberry tetras that were donated by a viewer. Thank you so much. I love them. I can't wait to breed them, hopefully someday. And then we also have some stir-by corridors in here that are growing up. They're nowhere near mature, so I am not even going to try to breed them yet. Jordan bought those. I think she likes Corys even more than I do. Yeah, there they are. I love the orange fins. I recently bought a group of snails from Moonlight Aquatics. Maybe you've seen these guys. They're supposedly just discovered in Papua New Guinea. They're a live bearer snail. They give birth to like one kid per month. So it's good for if you want snails, because I actually really like snails as a cleanup crew. And they're really cool looking. That dude just licking the glass. So about half of them that I received died immediately. I'm not sure if it's something I did or just they had a rough transition. But the other half is doing pretty well. I'll probably add more minerals to the water to make sure they got enough hardness. Here's one of the babies on the wood. I don't know if you can see him. Got like almost like a purpley red color. There's a few in here, so I'm hoping to get a big group of those going and then maybe sell those in the future. Don't know if anyone would be interested. I think they're really cool. They might still have them at Moonlight Aquatics if you look. I'm not sure. They were not cheap. I spent a lot more on snails than I thought I ever would. The tank above this are my Chilothrina Fasciata Clearwater Creek collection point. These guys have been giving me some really nice colors lately. They're not even really on right now, but when they're on, they look sweet. And they've also, in here, they've got some L134 leopard frog plecos. These guys have been doing really well. They're great tank mates. They've been getting along great. Let me see if I can flash them with this flashlight and see if I can get some colors out of these guys. Nah, they're gonna freak out. They've got some beautiful color though. It's like a rusty orange with blues and purples on the top. And then obviously here's my L134s are in here. A young group still. I don't think they're anywhere close to breeding yet. Let me turn this tank on so you can appreciate this tank. This is my Chilothrena Alani Wapoga Red strain. And this tank is just coming together really nicely. None of these tanks are really set up with any theme in mind, but for some reason this like log that has the Anubias growing out of it, just really grown to like the way this looks. And yeah, these guys are just way too many fish in here. That's why I've got them half price right now on the website. After a water change, they get like crazy. You should see the colors that come out of these fish. Still don't have any like true adults in here. Some of these are getting pretty big, but this guy's got some nice color. Yeah, I really enjoy the way that tank's looking so far. Definitely got to get some more plants for it, but same thing. I got a group of those snails from Moonlight, and they didn't do well. I don't know what happened. There's a few babies that made it. I think this baby made it. That one's alive. This one right here is alive. So hopefully they'll breed and continue to thrive in here. Yeah, really enjoy that tank. I've got an empty 40 gallon up here with Melitania lacustris, which are the turquoise rainbows. Not a giant group of them, but enough that I could keep some for myself and then sell a group to you guys if you're interested. If you want to see what the adults look like, they're really pretty. They have proven to be very slow growers, not going to lie to you. But I like their body shape. And it took me a while to find a good breeder group of these guys because you can find them in a lot of pet stores. They are one of those fish that are definitely the more popular rainbow, but I wanted a good quality one because I do want to breed them and sell them. And these guys seem to be really nice. And I guess while we're looking at this tank, this is a 75 gallon tank that is pretty bare right now. It's just got one piece of driftwood, and it's got all my breeders in it. So when I'm not actively breeding a fish, but I want to hold on to the nicest ones and not accidentally sell them or whatever, you know, lose them in the shuffle, I'll put them in this tank. There are some tannins in this water from this piece of driftwood. And now if I want to grab my angel pair, I grab my Philippine blues, take them out of here, throw them in a 20 and breed them. If I want to grab my parva, I'll grab the male and the two females and breed them. You have to be kind of confident in knowing which rainbows are which. So I'm still learning, and I would never put rainbows in here that I couldn't tell the difference. So all of these are so different that I'll be good. Like there's nothing in here that I'm going to get confused. I would never put Kalitawa and Myrisai in here. And stuff like that. You don't want to like mix them and then mess up your lines. It's great because it's eye level, and it really allows me to get a good view of my rainbows and my angels. So definitely a lot more room in here for more fish. And I guess as long as we're at the 75. I'll show you this bottom 75 is full of Philippine blue angels. They're doing really well. This is a really nice batch. There are some deformed ones that are part of the Adopt a Fish program. If you order from me and you want a couple free fish, just pick that. Underneath the Bosemani tank is the Kalitawa tank. This is also a really cool tank. I've been testing out these super cheap LED floodlights, and they've been doing really well. Probably need 2 of them per tank though. There is one Bosemani in here I gotta catch. See him? It's fine, I don't breed out of this tank, so there's like 0 chance I would actually breed that fish. But I know how he got in here. He jumped, so I'll have to get him out. Really no adults in here. There might be 1 adult in here, but the rest of them are in a breeding tank right now. And even at a young age, some of them have really nice color already. So just another nice planted tank that's eventually going to look really cool with adult rainbows. My Crebensis pair bred, and I have a ton of babies. Didn't clean the glass, sorry about that. There's a bunch of my Crebensis babies. I will be selling these eventually. That was one of the easiest fish I've ever bred. I literally threw them in the tank and fed them, and they did everything else. They were great parents. And it was really cool to watch them like bring the fry around, protect the fry, you know, kind of shuttle them around. So these guys are getting baby brine shrimp every day, nano foods, that miracle nano food, they're getting that. This next tank is green. It's Clearwater Creek rainbows. They really like the green water. I learned this from Steve. This next tank down here has some cardinal tetras and some gold laser corys. Jordan surprised me for Christmas and got me a small group of gold lasers. I only have 3, so I'm going to have to buy some more. I want like a group of 10. But I definitely want to breed those guys. I've wanted these guys for a while. And I want to breed these cardinal tetras too, just for fun. I've bred them once before, but I got 1 fish. And I'd like to do a little better than that this time if I could. So these guys are way too small right now, but I'm just fattening them up and just watching them grow. So if we just stay on the bottom, now we're on the 20-gallon rack. This tank is full of L181 peppermint plecos. So, and I like snails, but they can take over, especially in a pleco tank. So this tank actually gets a water change every day. I don't think the mulm is a problem, but you can see how much competition these plecos actually have for their food. So, yeah, pleco tanks and snails kind of... I don't really like snails in pleco tanks because they just take over. But on the bright side, if anyone wants any snails, I've got them. The next tank is my CPD tank. There's just a bunch of fry growing up in here right now. They just look like little sticks, so we're not going to spend any time on this. The next tank is more L181 plecos. I've just gotten so many batches of these guys. And we've got some various rainbows growing up in here. I believe this is a parva, which I didn't even know he was in here till today. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, that's a parva. And I believe most of the rest of these are Blythe River. I'm going to let them grow up a little more before I start selling them because I want to make sure I'm right on that. These are all Alani. See, that's a more grown Alani. I didn't even mean to do this. I had some adults in here, and they are so prolific that they lay eggs pretty much every day, and they don't eat their fry. So you kind of get stuck with a lot of fish on accident. Like, I wasn't even trying to breed them. They were just laying eggs and hatching and not getting eaten. So got way too many of these. That's why I got them half price right now on the website. I'll probably eventually just be bringing them to a pet store or something because I have way too many. Another tank of L181 peppermint plecos. Oh, there's a decent sized one back there. Again, just a ton of snails. I'll be putting these back in stock on the website because I have quite a bit of them. I lowered the price to $15, and I've also been, most orders I've been throwing an extra in, so it is a really good deal, in my opinion. This next tank is a bunch of Native American fish that I caught myself. This summer I took the kids to a creek quite a bit, and we just kind of mucked around with some nets, and we caught a bunch of darters, a bunch of different kinds of darters. And I looked up the laws quite a bit before I took them home. I couldn't see anything that said anything, though. I couldn't find anything that said it was illegal to take them home. You just can't sell. You can't sell fish that you catch in the wild. But if I bred these, I could probably sell the fish I bred. But I don't really have any desire to breed them. I just really like this tank. I think these are really charming fish. They're really fun to watch. And every time I look in this tank, I think about those days with the kids in the creek and just how special that was and how time just kind of stood still, man. It was beautiful. I really, really love just being out in nature with my kids. That is, this tank reminds me of that every day that I come down here and see that. So definitely want to make a video on going to that creek and catching more of these because it was super fun and actually super easy. And I caught a bunch of different minnows and stuff too. I re-released a lot of them because they were kind of ganging up on the darters. I had some pretty big chubs in here that were just eating the darters. Like one died every night and I figured out they were getting eaten. But a super, super charming tank. I really like it. I think his name's Dan. I forget his channel name now. But I got the idea from another YouTuber who goes to his local creek and catches native fish. I probably will be setting up a dedicated like 40-gallon to native North American fish because they're really cool. And the whole process of going out, catching them, taking care of them, learning about them has been really nice. Been really fun. Like I said, and I had a bunch of native plants in here, but they got eaten by one of those big chubs I brought home. This tank is completely empty. I think there's one fry in here. Oh, a couple fry. Can you see this guy? I don't think it's going to focus on this guy. Maybe you can see this guy over here. I think there's a fry in here from those orange Medaka ricefish I had in here. So this tank's basically empty though. I'm going to be putting something in there, just don't know what yet. This next tank has more of the Pseudomagilla fricata. Slightly bigger than the 10-gallon. And then I've got my Wabenmunster Plecos in here as well. Steve gave me a nice group of these guys, and I also bought a group. So 2 different bloodlines. Way too small to breed, but eventually I want to breed these guys because I think they're beautiful. Next we've got the last Calimoisy juveniles that I have in stock. Don't know how many are in here. Let's say maybe 8, 10, 12, something like that. But I am looking to sell these guys. They're a decent size for juveniles, actually. So those guys are got a lot of room in there. There's not a whole lot of fish in there. These are the Trifasciata, the Blythe River. Don't really look like much. Oh, there's also a small group of Plecos in here. I recently pulled a cave. More L181s. These guys are like, they're so prolific. I have so many of them. So it's, I think, 1, 2, 3, I have 4 tanks of those guys. More Clearwater Creek. Looks like I got some blue-green algae in here too. Bunch of fry. This is my breeder group of the Medakas, the Gecko strain. You can see they're even starting to, some of the eggs are starting to hatch out in here. There's a fry. But there's so much plant cover that they can't possibly eat all their eggs. They've also got some of those live bearer snails in here as well. Kind of just keeping the tank clean for me. Can't wait to get these guys back outside next summer. I really enjoyed watching them outside. Just moved these Blairi over today. A group of 3 of these guys. Or, I mean a trio. 1 male, 2 female. I'm looking to get a big group of fry going again. This tank is empty. It had the parva in it. I recently moved my breeder parva to this 75 gallon. So you're probably going to start seeing fry pop up. I wouldn't be surprised if there was fry in there right now, actually. So I'll probably just raise a group of fry in here because those rainbows drop a lot of eggs. So I'm sure there'll be fry popping up in the next day or so. And I got my Kalitawa in here. Don't really need to breed these anymore, but I owe someone a mop, so I'm keeping them in here just to get a couple mops going that I can send out. And then I'll put them back in their 40 gallon. They definitely don't look that great in this tank, but that's only because really no light's getting through. And the light on here is, you know, like I use these grow lights. They're great lights, but they're not gonna make your fish look as good as like a high quality light. I'm really excited for this top 75 gallon. I've got a really cool product coming that I'm going to be testing out that basically achieves a planted look with zero substrate. And I can't talk about it too much because I just want to make a video and show you. But you see how many tannins are in this water. I did a 50% water change yesterday too. You should have seen it before. It looked like tea. I guess it kind of looks like tea now. But this is a cool tank. Like, you can stand back here and really, it looks cool. It would look cool. A few more angels, a few more rainbows. That's it, guys. So the lights are turning off because it's past 11. I had to turn them back on to show you guys the rest of these tanks. I've got some more tanks in my house, but we'll show you those another day. I'm running out of time here. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching that really quick tour. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very quick. I'll try to do something a little more in-depth when I've got more time. I want to talk about what I plan to do in the 2025. So I definitely want to get that back wall done. So I'm still in build mode right now. Get those 15 tanks installed. That'll give me more flexibility. I'll eventually put another 9 to 12 10 gallons over here. And then I really want to start taking content creation a little more seriously. I'm not going to be putting myself on a crazy schedule or anything like that. I've got like I said, I have a full-time job and I've got 2 young kids and I want to spend time with my kids. YouTube is a hobby. It's not a job for me. And I do it when I have time. That being said, I definitely want to create higher quality content. I want to create breeding videos with more details and a full length picture of how to actually breed a certain fish. I think those are really rewarding. I think that'd be fun for me to make. It would take a lot more time to make those, but I feel like a lot of my content is like, oh, look at this, look at that, check this out. I want to get a little deeper into like different species, how I breed them, how I care for them, and I'm no expert. I'll just share my personal experience. That's all I can really do. I've got some other really unique ideas for videos. So I think 2025 is going to be a really fun year. If you're not subscribed and you are looking forward to more videos like this, hit that button and follow along. I think we're going to have some really cool stuff this coming year. And thank you guys so much for all the orders, all the support, all the comments, all the love. It really does make my day. And honestly, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with 2025. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. So I don't know how, but I caught all 3 Blairi I had in the 90 gallon in like 3 minutes. It was a miracle. So you can see the males down there and the 2 females. We're gonna put them up in this tank here, get some babies going. Here's the male. Look at that guy, beautiful. Put him in here. So it's only been maybe an hour and they're already going at it. So you can see that male Blairi is trying to get the attention of that female. And he's bringing her over to the mop, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's throwing a bunch of eggs already. So that's super exciting to see. These are some of the coolest rainbows I have.